Hey everybody, it's BC94XYZ, and this is a review for Zoo Tycoon, the 2013 video game that came out for the Xbox One and the Xbox 360 during the Xbox One's launch. I just finished playing this game, and I have to say I was thoroughly impressed, very thoroughly impressed with Zoo Tycoon. Were there aspects of it that could have been better? Yeah, of course. But the game itself was absolutely spectacular. I mean, one thing that I love about Tycoon games nowadays that is being developed by Frontier developers, they also did Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, the new one that came out that was 3D a couple of years ago. And the one thing that I love about that they're doing now is they make it so that you feel like you're actually part of the game. You know, it used to be with the old ones that you were just, you know, you're kind of there, you're watching above everything, and you're building your theme park or your zoo. But this one, especially Zoo Tycoon, made me feel as if I was actually a zookeeper. And that's, of course, you know, because you actually do play as a zookeeper in this game. Like, you can go into, like, you can walk around your zoo and stuff like that from a zookeeper's point of view, as opposed to just a what do you call it? It's to just from above, which is really cool, I think. Which you could do with Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, but I think Zoo Tycoon really took that to a new level, because that's the one thing that everyone loved about Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, is the fact that it was so much more realistic because you could go on the rides and ride the rides. But Zoo Tycoon really took this to a whole new level. I mean, you are literally standing there in your park, walking around and driving around like a buggy. It was so cool, and you really did feel like you were a zookeeper. And I think one of the most impressive aspects of this game, and I will say this till the day I die, is that Zoo Tycoon really focused on its animals and really showed how much the animals were important to this game. Because you could literally get up close with them. You could feed them, you could wash them, you could look at them so close to them. And you really felt like you were actually in a zoo. You really felt like, you know, you were, you know, it would go into first-person view to feed them or wash them with a hose or something. And it would really feel like you were in a zoo. It really felt like you were in a zoo taking care of these animals, because you are a zookeeper in this game, and it just felt so realistic. And with the Xbox One, is the one I played it on, with the Xbox One, with the Kinect, it just felt so realistic, because you would make your hands move and make them feed the animals with your hands with the Kinect, and it just felt so realistic. And not only that, like, it was honestly adorable. Like, these animals are just so, it just felt like you could just, like, pet them yourself. It felt so realistic. So yeah, that's what I feel about Zoo mode and Tycoon and Zoo mode. Excuse me, Zoo mode. Let's go into Tycoon mode. Tycoon mode was interesting. I mean, Tycoon mode brought back the whole idea of the old games back into this one, and of course you have to have the old game into this one, because otherwise it wouldn't be a Tycoon game. But there were a lot of aspects of the Tycoon mode that could have been better. For instance, the menu selection and the sorting of the menu was kind of a pain, in the sense that, like, if you adopted an animal, you would have to go back and go through all of those buttons again in order to get to the same animal. And that was kind of annoying. For instance, you make it all the way to tigers, and then you go to this type of tiger, and then you say adopt this person. And then if you wanted to adopt yet another tiger of the same brand, you'd have to go into Tiger. You have to go into Tiger, into that same brand, and to find another one. It was just really, really tedious and kind of annoying. But that's really the only negative aspect of the game. I thought the game itself was absolutely beautiful. I think the progression of the campaign was actually pretty good. Challenge mode and sandbox mode are obviously two really free-style play games, I guess you could say, and the only thing that you have limited to for sandbox mode is the zoo limit as well as the levels. You have to level up in order to get certain things. But, you know, Zoo Tycoon was really, really worth it, you know? I paid about $40 for this game, and in all honesty, it was very worth my $40. I felt like I would pay it again without hesitation to get this game. This game was a fantastic game. The animals were adorable. The animals were extremely well detailed, and not only with the Tycoon mode was it, you know, easy to create a zoo, but it was just, it felt so real. And I don't think I've ever really experienced a game where it actually felt so realistic. You know, it felt like you were really a zookeeper washing an elephant with a water hose. You know, it really felt like you were actually doing that. And I think that's about as realistic as you can get, besides the real thing, you know? So, thank you guys for listening. That was my review on Zoo Tycoon. I loved it, and I think you should totally pick it up if you get a chance. Ignore the reviews on IGN and GameSpot. They're really, really criticizing this game for some reason, and I don't know why. Yeah, there were there were poorly laid out menus and stuff. But, you know, in all honesty, like, this game itself was great. I mean, I don't know why IGN and GameSpot didn't like this, so I would personally just ignore their reviews for this game. Usually they're right on point, but what do you call it? Just this time they were just way off, and I think they were being I think they were expecting too much of Zoo Tycoon. So, thank you guys again for watching and listening to me blabber on about another game. This is BC9 for XYZ, and I will see you all later. Thank you very much for listening.